Auzu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. Bismillahir rahmanir rahim. Dear students, I hope कि आप सब अच्छे से होंगे, मज़े से होंगे। तो कल एक दिन पहले मैंने आपका एक और टॉपिक टच किया है, पर्सनल हेलिकन, टॉपिक नंबर 17 फॉर माइकल लॉन्गले, रिटन बाय सीमस हेने। सीमस हेने और माइकल लॉन्गले वो फ्रेंड्स थे और एक ही दौर में वो एज ए पोइट थे और फ्रेंड्स भी थे। तो सीमस हेने ने ये पोएम जो है डेडिकेट की है अपने उस फ्रेंड को जिसका नाम है माइकल लॉन्गले। एज वी कैन से इन सिंपल वर्ड इज ए ट्रिब्यूट टू ए फ्रेंड फ्रॉम ए फ्रेंड। Seamus Longley was a friend and a contemporary of Longley. इस पोएम में 5 स्टेंजाज है, तो I will try my level best to explain every stanza wise this poem in easy language so that you people can understand it without any problem, without any hindrance. Now let's start from the first para. As a child, they could not keep me from wells and old pumps with buckets and windlasses. I loved the dog drop, the trapped sky, the smells of water weeds, fungus and dank moss. One in a brickyard with a rotted board top, I savored the rich crash when a bucket plumped down at the end of a rope. So deep you saw no reflection in it. A shallow one under a dry stone ditch, fructified like an aquarium. When you dragged out long roots from the soft mulch, a white face hovered over the bottom. Other sad echoes gave back your own call, with a clean new music in it. And one was scarcesome, for, dear, out of the ferns and tall foxgloves, a rat slapped across my reflection. Now, to pray into roots, to finger slime, to stare big-eyed Narcissa into some spring, is beneath all dignity, all adult dignity. I rhyme to see myself, to set the darkness echoing. Let's start from the first stanza. इसमें बेटा एक वर्ड आया है फर्स्ट लाइन में, फर्स्ट स्टेंजा के फर्स्ट लाइन में, दे कुड नॉट कीप मी फ्रॉम द वेल्स. कीप मी मीन स्टॉप मी फ्रॉम गोइंग टूवर्ड्स द वेल्स. Windlasses एक और वर्ड आया है, a machine that lifts heavy objects by turning a chain or rope around a roller-shaped device. In simple language हम कह सकते हैं जब हम बाल्टी डालते हैं कहीं कुएं से पानी निकालने के लिए, ऊपर से जब नीचे हम बाल्टी डालते हैं तो वहां से एक आवाज सी आती है. Dark drop means the depth of the well. The dark trapped well, the well that cannot move. Helicon एक और वर्ड आया इसमें बेटा. Helicon means the abode of the goddess of art, Helicon. In Greek, Helicon, a mountain range in Boeotia, it was the favorite seat of the Muses, the goddess of fine art. The Muses were worshipped throughout ancient Greece. 2 fountains of poetic inspiration flowed from Helicon. Now, I will try to explain this stanza. The poet says that in these lines, the poet tells about his childhood. When he was totally immature, the poet was immensely fascinated, attracted by wells and old pumps with buckets and winches. As he loved the dark depth of the wells, the trapped sky, and the smell of weeds, fungus and moss. Second stanza. On a brickyard with a rotted board top, I savored the rich crash when a bucket plumped down at the end of rope. So deep you saw no reflection in it. You saw no reflection in it. Brickyard means yard made up of bricks. Rotted means decayed. Savored means enjoyed. Board top, wooden top, surface. Crash, the sound of falling of something from up high to from top to bottom. plummeted, fallen very quickly and suddenly. जब हम बकेट डालते हैं पानी में तो वहां से हम जल्दी मतलब we throw that quickly. Reflection image seen in a water. इन लाइन में शायर कह रहे हैं, पोएट कह रहे हैं कि he remembers a well which was made of brickyard where the wooden board top had decayed or rotted away because of with the passage of time. The poet, enjoyed the rich crash of the bucket as it crashed down into the well at the end of row. Because the well was so deep that even a reflection could not be seen. Third one, a shallow one under a dry stone ditch, fructified like an aquarium when you dragged out long ropes from the soft mulch and white face hovered over the bottom. Shallow means not so deep, less deep. Fructified means bore fruit, summer aura. Aquarium मीन्स जहाँ पर जब हम मछलियों को किसी जगह मतलब मछली घर इसको हम कहते हैं या where we kept fishes for our enjoyment. Hovered हुआ मीन्स मंडराता हुआ. Ditch a long channel. Dragged या हम कह सकते हैं बना. Ditch means a बनावटी तालाब. Dragged means as you know pulled or took out. Mulch जो rotted leaves होते हैं उनकी वो जो लेयर जो बन जाती है उसको कहते हैं mulch. In these lines, in लाइनों में poet कह रहे हैं, the poet says that a shallow well under a dry stone ditch was made useful as an aquarium. When he tried to pull out weeds from the soft mulch, he could see a white face hover into the water. Fourth one, other sad echoes going back your own call with a clean new music in it, and one was scarce for there out of furnace and a tall foxgloves a rat slapped across my reflection. Others means other wells. Echoes means resounding, अपनी आवाज वापस आना, गूंजना, अपनी आवाज वापस गूंजना. Scarce means frightening. When we got frightened by something, that's called scaresome. Furnace, a plant with delicate leaves but no flowers. Foxgloves is another variety of plants with flowers. Slapped means hit suddenly, जैसे हम थप्पड़ कहते हैं किसको, he slapped him. In these lines, the poet says that there were other wells. Sometimes he would call out here the echo of his own voice when a rat ran across his reflection and the rat frightened him. The fifth one, now to pray into roots, to finger slime, to stare big-eyed narcissus into some spring is beneath all adult dignity. I rhyme to see myself to set the darkness echoing. Pray into means go see into, or we can say in simple words, search, to search. To finger means to feel or to touch with finger. Slime, finger means to feel or to touch with finger. जब हम कभी देखते हैं कि ये पानी गर्म है या सर्द है तो we have to touch with that finger. We have to feel that temperature with the help of a finger. Slime means some unpleasant, thick, liquid substance. To stare means to look at with wide eyes, to look keenly. Big-eyed Narcissus. In Greek mythology, a handsome youth. Narcissus in Greek mythology, a handsome youth with big eyes who fell in love with his own beautiful face as he saw it reflected in a pool. Remember this thing. Narcissus means handsome in Greek mythology. A handsome youth, a smart youth with beautiful eyes who fell in love with his own beautiful face as he saw his face reflected in a pool. In these lines, the poet says that now he has grown up. अब वो बड़े हो गए हैं. Now he is an adult one. अब वो बड़े हो गए, maturity आ गई उनमें. He considers it all beneath the dignity of an adult to do things like prying into roots of plants. अब उसको लगा कि ये इन्फीरियरिटी, अब उसको लगा ये बिलो डिग्निटी लगता है कि बच्चों की तरह जाना कुएं की तरफ या कभी नदी की तरफ या कभी एक्वेरियम में, तो वहां पर वो शैतानियां करना, वो एक्टिविटीज करना जो एक छोटा बच्चा करता है. तो अब वो उसमें मैच्योरिटी आ गई. उसको लगता है ये बिनीथ डिग्निटी, उसको लगता है ये मेरे काम की चीज नहीं है. इट इज द beneath, it is not his work. Now he has an adult man. Fingering slime and staring into some springs. Now he imagined it. Now he considered it a beneath his dignity. This in this line, this means that he has now stopped writing poetry which he wrote earlier. अब जब बड़े हो गए हैं पोएट, तो उसने वो पोएट्री भी लिखनी छोड़. जब वो छोटा सा था, इमेच्योर था, कभी नदी के बारे में, कभी कुएं के बारे में, कभी छोटी छोटी चीजों को वो हाईलाइट किया. अब उसमें मैच्योरिटी, उसको लगता है कि नहीं, ये अब मेरा काम नहीं है. Now I am an adult one. I should write the poetry about something, about those things which can prove his worth. His poetic perception has become more mature in his years of adulthood. अब उसकी poetic perception, जो अंदाज बयान जो है, that has totally changed from immaturity to the mature level. He no longer looks into wells and thus tries to write poetry that makes the darkness echoes and resounds. अब उसमें वो कह रहा है कि मैं चाहता हूं कि मैं वो पोइट्री लिखूं जो लोग देखे, जो लोग पढ़े और उसमें उनको लगे कि ये एक मैच्योर पोइट बन गया है. This poem is basically a poet's journey from childhood to the adulthood. As a child, he was immensely fascinated by wells and old homes with buckets and winches. He loved the dark depth, tropic sky smell of weeds, fungus, and moss. He remembers a well in a brickyard where the boat top had rotted away. The poet enjoyed the crash of bucket as it crashed down into the well at the end of a rope. A shallow well under a dry stone ditch was rectified as an aquarium. When the poet pulled out weeds from the soft mulch, he could see a white face whir into water. Sometimes the poet would call out to hear the echoes of his own voice. Once a rat ran across his reflection and scared him. But now the poet has moved away from the poetry he wrote when he was younger to a mature man. He no longer pries into wells but writes poetry that makes the darkness echoes. Thanks. Wish you all the best.